welcome, friends,
to the How-To Heretic.
I'm Uncle Doug.
And I'm Uncle Dan.
And this is your user's guide to life on the outside.
That's right. Leaving religion is the first step into a larger, better world.
But it can also be a scary world. Ooh. Things work differently now.
Yeah, never fear. That's why we're here.
We're your audio uncles, and with help from good friends and experts in all sorts of fields,
we're going to share the stories and seek the knowledge to build a great life.
After all, you only get one that we know of, so you'd better make the most of it.
Darn tootin'!
Let's do a show!
Well, Uncle Doug!
Uncle Dan!
It's you! You're here!
Back again!
And you know who's not here?
Uncle Mark is finally dead.
They done killed him.
We pulled the plug.
The damned Canadians got him.
They can keep him for a... Oh
no, let's be
miss
nice.
Uncle. I'm going to see Uncle Mark next week.
You lucky dog.
In person.
Yeah, you and I we're all going to have to sort out how the fuck we're going to do this show.
No doubt.
Okay. Anyway, he is just tied up with all kind of whatnot.
He's a very important man.
He is a very important man. Too important for all of you people, you bastards. So it's just the two of us. We're going to be doing a Bible. It's all Bible all the time.
Oh, the Bible.
This week on the How-To Heretic.
That's right.
We're serving it three ways.
Yep.
This week, we're going to be talking parables.
We're gonna take on a parable.
We're going to be exploring a story.
A terrible story. I'm sorry to say, but my God.
With like all of the Bible, no discernible morality whatsoever.
This one might actually be the worst one.
It may be.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be talking about religion and politics.
Yeah.
We're going to get a little political, but they struck first.
That's
so
right. They came at us.
It's our fault. It's their fault. Anyway, let's brace yourselves. Let's get into this thing.
Let's do it.
Hey, Uncle Doug.
Uncle Dan.
I need to learn things in this world. We all need ways that we can learn valuable lessons.
Right.
And I think that you have discovered, this is obviously our Bible episode.
Right.
And you've discovered a way to learn something in the Bible that exists in the Bible.
And I think, from time to time we try out different ideas for this show, and I thought it might be fun for us to talk about the parables of Jesus in a segment we will call Parable Shit.
Yeah.
So
either that or the terrible parables.
The terrible parables.
One of the two.
Take your pick. We'll do an internet poll.
Yeah, exactly.
See what wins. So the parables of Jesus are, to most Christians, the most sublime, so to speak, part of the Bible.
They're the most important thing we've got.
It's the actual words of Jesus.
Yeah.
Teaching a lesson.
The great rabbi.
Right.
The gallant teacher.
Yes.
The most important human ever to walk the face of the earth.
Correct. And it's not him. It's not somebody telling a story about him. It's not the narrative of him going somewhere and doing something. This is Jesus teaching the lessons that we are supposed to use to live our lives.
This is red letter shit in
That's
the Bible.
Right. This is mainlining the gospel here.
All right, I'm ready. I'm excited, actually. Tingly.
There are 32 parables in total in the Bible.
Okay.
And a parable is just a short story.
These are 32 of Jesus' parables.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
There are other parables, but the ones that don't come out of Jesus himself.
Who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit?
There are 32 parables. They're all in the books of Matthew, Luke, and Mark.
Okay.
There's none in John, which is interesting.
John was not a parable guy.
Yeah, we can talk about John another time. Fuck that guy. And so I thought, let's attack this kind of chronologically and start with the first parable.
Okay.
And which comes out of the book of Luke.
Yeah.
And it's in chapter 7, verses 36 to 50.
Okay.
And there's pieces of this parable that I recognized right away when I read it, that I'm sure, anyone who's spent any time in Sunday school will remember.
Sure.
And basically, it's the parable of the two debtors.
Okay.
Now, some of the parables that we'll tackle later on are very impenetrable and very strange.
Yeah.
And the morality is very difficult to tease out of it.
If there is any morality to tease.
Correct. So this one is pretty simple and small, but but it's the first one.
Okay.
So,
Number one.
number one, Jesus goes to the house of a Pharisees to have dinner with him and teach him. Now, the Pharisees were like the Jewish clergy at the time, and they weren't all evil, even if you have seen
Right.
Mel Gibson's The Passion.
Right.
Some of them were actually okay. And so Jesus, before he, this is kind of early in his ministry, he encounters this Pharisee and they go to his house to have dinner.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, and this is the part you probably recognize. A woman enters, sees that Jesus is there, and she enters and she brings an alabaster box of ointment,
Which, when I go to somebody's place for dinner, I always hope some chick is going to pop out from somewhere and go, ointment?
in an alabaster box.
Anybody need any ointment? How about a balm?
Yeah, the New Testament is just steeped in goop, isn't it? So she brings this alabaster box of ointment, expensive ointment. This woman is a sinner. It makes clear to call her out as a sinner.
Okay.
And then
as opposed to everybody else that's so great.
Right. And this, you remember this, she gets down on her hands and knees. She cries on Jesus' feet, uses her tears and her hair to wipe and clean his feet.
Wow.
Which, again...
You know what? Use the ointment.
Right.
No,
Well,
the tears is...
Yep.
You're not going to get enough.
She cleans his feet, and then she puts the ointment on the feet and kisses them.
Sure. It's like mentholatum.
Right.
Is what it is.
Can you imagine the stank that must have been on, a guy's feet in Jerusalem?
Well, now it's on her hair.
Right?
That's going to be nice.
And so, washing of the feet was a very humble thing. Jesus later did it to his apostles. But doing it with your hair and your eyes, your tears is...
I mean, let's be real for just a second. Nobody cries that much.
I know, right?
Like you produce a little moisture out of your face holes, but it's not enough. Like she must have been spitting too, just like secretly.
I remember when E.T. died, and I cried very... Oh, shit, spoilers.
E.T. didn't die?
Well, he came back.
Okay, fine.
But
you thought he was dead. It
spoilers, everybody.
doesn't matter.
Right.
If you don't know about E.T. by now.
So now the Pharisee sees this woman wash his feet and says, okay, you can't be a prophet because if you were, you would know that this woman is a whore and would have never let her touch your feet.
Huh.
Which is this seems like kind of a story that was made up.
Yeah. You think?
So here Jesus begins his parable and he says, there was a creditor that had two debtors. One owed him 500 pence, the other 50. I didn't bother looking up what a pence was and how much its modern equivalent was.
It's 14 shekels to a pence.
Exactly. But one guy owed him 500, one guy owed him 50.
Okay.
Both debtors were unable to pay, so the creditor forgave them both.
Okay.
And then Jesus asked the Pharisee which of these two would love the creditor more.
Oh, okay.
Right? What do you think the answer to that would be?
Wash my feet with your hair?
The Pharisee says, well, of course the guy who had the bigger debt would love the creditor more. And Jesus says, I agree. So then Jesus says to the Pharisee, do you see this woman? I entered your house and you gave me no water for my feet, no kiss, no oil for my head. Again, why would you need to oil your head?
Look, don't this. Now you're just shitting on custom.
Okay.
I've been to your house a few times now, Doug. You've never given me head oil.
That you know of. Just sneak up behind you with an eyedropper. Bloop. But you didn't give me anything for my head, no water for my feet, no kiss. But she washed my feet with her tears, kissed them, and put ointment on them. And then he turns to her and says, therefore her sins, which are many, are forgiven, for she loved much. But to whom little is forgiven, the same loveth little.
Okay. Like, if you haven't... Okay, so wait. I'm going to parse this out as best I can. If you haven't sinned enough, then when you're forgiven, you don't feel as powerful a love for God. So basically, the moral of the story is you've got to sin a lot so that when you're forgiven, you love the Lord even more.
I guess. I mean, that's the best. That's what I take out of this.
That has to be the conclusion.
So, what is the reward for living a kind of sinless life?
Well, we're going to talk about that.
That's true. Yeah. So that's basically it. Jesus tells her that her sins are forgiven and that thy faith have saved thee. Go in peace. And that is the parable of the two debtors. I mean, it's nice that he forgave the debtors, and it's nice that Jesus forgave the woman. But to your point, I feel like the moral of the story is the bigger you sin, the better you're going to feel about it when Jesus
when he forgives you.
Which
So fucking get out there and sin, people. Jesus wants it.
get on it.
Just be sure you get your hair ready to get stanky, because you're gonna have some foot stank on you
Some foot stank.
for a minute. It just lasts a second, and then you're gonna be good to go.
Right. So I mean, there again, it's a short one, but it's the first one, and right off out of the gate, we're kind of morally ambiguous here.
Yeah, I love it. Let's move on.
Moving on. Uncle Dan,
Yes, sir.
we are really spending a lot of time in the old good book today,
Yeah, it's where we live right now.
and there is a particularly interesting story in the Bible.
Well, again, I always like to go for the stories in the Bible that are the ones that the Christians tout
Right.
as the important ones.
Right.
And this one isn't just the Christians. The Jews still read this one.
Yeah.
It's not in the Pentateuch. It's not in the Torah. But like, this is a big deal. These are stories that are very important to billions.
Right.
And I'm not trying to find the ones that are just the goofball
Your
ones.
Songs of Solomon or some shit like that.
Elisha and the Bears. Like, we don't need
Yeah.
just those ones.
Right.
I'm going for the ones that they claim are the best ones.
Right.
We're going to talk about Job.
Oh boy.
And
Not the funny one from Arrested Development.
no.
The tragic
no.
one.
Well, they're both kind of tragic.
They both made terrible mistakes.
Oh my God. This Job, this one's the J-O-B as opposed to the G-O-B.
Right.
The notorious J-O-B here. I knew the story basically.
Mm-hmm.
So then I decided to get in and read it.
See, that's your first mistake.
Don't ever do that.
Don't do
Don't
that.
ever do it. It's the wrong choice. And now I've learned my lesson, but it's too late for me. And this story, well, again, I think the theme of this whole episode is just teasing out what morals we can from it.
Yeah.
And I'm baffled. So there's this whole setup about Job's this guy who's great.
Right.
Like literally basically perfect.
Yeah.
He's never sinned. He's nice. He's wealthy. He's got a lot of camels and sheep and
It's
things.
funny because as we've seen in other stories in the Bible, anyone who's kind of living a good life and righteous has got some shit coming for him.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's going to rain on you.
Dear.
But of course Job's the worst and we all know that. Job has this great life. He's got kids, he's got stuff, and he's good.
Right.
He's honestly so good that so we get it. So Job chapter 1, we get to verse, what is that? 8 or something like that. And the numbers, I transferred it all over to a thing and the numbers are tiny.
Right.
Anyway, verse 8. What has happened is that the Lord has now called the angels are now coming to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan showed up too. Right. I guess he's one of the angels or he's one of the gods or whatever the fuck he is.
It's so weird, isn't it? It's so strange.
And they're all just chilling, and the Lord's like, "Hey Satan, where you been?" Literally, the Lord said to Satan, "Where have you come from?" And Satan answered the Lord, "From roaming throughout the earth, going back and forth on it." Apparently he's a walker.
All right.
He likes to walk. Then the Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him. He is blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil." Now, to me,
Yeah.
this is the dickest move that has ever been done.
I totally agree. Why are you even bringing this guy to Satan's attention?
Right? Like,
What's the point of this?
you've got this great dude. He's been good to you. He's obeyed
Right.
all. Like, you gave him a bunch of fucking rules, and he followed every single one of them to the letter.
Right.
Beyond. He went beyond. Like, his kids would go off and have dinner, and then he would make sacrifices for his kids just in case one of them sinned.
Oh my God.
That's how Job is.
He's the Ned Flanders of the Bible, basically.
He is. But he's about to get hidely-ho fucked.
And is it and God is bragging to Satan
right.
about this guy.
Right. Because if there's one thing we know about someone who's omnipotent, omniscient, and all-loving, it's that he needs to brag.
Right.
And boy, does he need to brag. We'll come to that later. So he's like, hey, Satan, I got this guy. He's perfect. Satan's like, yeah, because you've never made him have any hardship. You built a hedge around him, and you gave him nice things.
Right.
And if he didn't have nice things, he'd probably say, fuck you. And the Lord is like, no, he won't. And Satan's like, I'll bet you I could make him say, curse you. And he's like, no, you can't. You do your worst, but don't touch his body. This is what he says at first. He says, you do your worst. Go and do whatever you want to him.
No touching.
Only no touching.
Okay.
So then
He gave up. Like you said, this guy is perfect. And Satan's like, I bet I can fuck him over. And so
Right.
God's like, yeah, go for it, dude.
And the Lord says, try it.
Quite the wingman, God.
Yeah, exactly. The Lord is my shepherd, and he likes to fuck with his own sheep.
Right.
So, verse, what is that, 15? So, I can't even read it. So I just want to point out that this is how this verse starts. These seem like sort of normal words. They become very ominous words. One day,
Oh, no.
when Job's sons and daughters were feasting, that one day is pretty hardcore. Because in that one day, messengers come to him. And this is several different things in a row. A messenger came to Job and said, the oxen were made off with them. They put the servants to the sword, and I am the only one who escaped to tell you. And then another messenger said, the fire of God fell from the heavens and burned up the sheep and the servants, and I'm the only one who has escaped to tell you. Then another messenger came and said, this is all one fucking day. Then another messenger said, the Chaldeans formed 3 raiding parties and swept down on your camels and made off with them. They put the servants to the sword, and I'm the only one who has escaped to tell you. Then another messenger came and said, your sons and daughters were feasting and drinking wine at the oldest brother's house when suddenly a mighty wind swept in from the desert and struck the 4 corners of the house. It collapsed on them, and they are dead.
Jesus.
And I'm the only one who escaped to tell you.
Jesus Christ.
That's
Wow.
quite a day.
God.
When Satan decides to torment you, he doesn't really fuck around.
He does not mess around, right? My God.
So yeah, in one
So he's
day,
got 4 servants left.
he's got 4 servants
Look at the bright side.
and nothing.
Right. God.
At this point, he tears up his robe, he shaves his head, and falls to the ground in worship, apparently, and says, naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will depart. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised.
Okay.
That is some Stockholm Syndrome
No
shit right there.
No doubt.
That is some crazed lunatic ranting right there.
I know we're going to talk about this a lot, but what are we supposed to derive from this?
Oh, it gets worse. We're not done. Don't be deriving yet. There's more. Chapter 2. Skin for skin, Satan says, after the Lord again. So again, what happens is we're back in heaven.
Yeah.
And a bunch of the heaven angels come to the Lord, including Satan. And again, we have the same conversation. Hey, Satan, where have you come from? And Satan says, from roaming throughout the earth, going back and forth on it. Cool, Satan. And the Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him, and he is blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil, and he still maintains his integrity, though you incited me against him to ruin him without any reason. The Lord is blaming the devil
Right.
for inciting him.
Right.
He started this, you son of a bitch. What the fuck?
And does this not do a little bit of a ding to the infallibility and omnipotence of God?
Right?
You made me do this.
You made me do this.
Oh, I hate it when you make me hit you, honey.
But my guy
Right.
is still my guy, even though you incited me to let you fuck with him. And again, Satan replies, skin for skin. A man will give all he has for his own life, but now stretch out your hand and strike his flesh and bones, and he will surely curse you to your face. To which the Lord says, no, let's leave him alone. He's had enough.
Oh.
Psych! He doesn't say that. He says, okay, try that, but don't kill him. So I mean, and we know we've learned that Satan is very gentle with these things, subtle. So of course he afflicts Job with painful sores from the soles of his feet to the crown of his head.
Oh my God.
Then the next one's just so telling. Then Job took a piece of broken pottery and scraped himself with it as he sat among the ashes. Could there be a more pathetic image than a man covered top to toe with sores, having lost his family, having lost everything he had, just scraping himself with a broken pot?
In the ashes of all he used to have.
In the ashes.
Just scraping boils off of his flesh with a broken pottery shard. That's nice.
So his wife says to him, are you still maintaining your integrity? Curse God and die. Great time to pick to lecture him.
Right.
That's going to get much worse. Not from her, though. But he's good. He still says, you are talking foolish, woman. Shall we accept good from God and not trouble? To which I say, yeah.
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 Right.
If he's going to do both, then what's the point of him?
Right. What's the point of living a virtuous life?
Right. So now Job's three friends, Eliphaz the Temanite, Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite are going to show up.
Uncle Dan had his eyes closed during that and just made that up.
Right.
Just in a fugue state.
Actually, I put my face into a hat with some rocks, and those are the words that came out. One could say that you can't blame Joseph Smith for coming up with the stupid names that he came up with in the Book of Mormon, considering what he read in the Bible. Anyway.
True enough.
Okay, so his friends come over, and basically immediately, like the first thing they do is they weep with him, and they're quiet, and they sit with him for several days because he's in such torment that they can just see the sorrow. It's not cool to talk.
Okay, that's nice.
That's great.
Yeah.
Then somebody starts talking.
Is it Thab, the Juba Jube?
Yes, it is. From Job 3, for about 1,000 million pages, what we get for the rest of this book is people fucking lecturing this man. And it's unreadable.
Right.
It's fucking unreadable. Job finally says, it says, after this, Job opened his mouth and cursed the day of his birth. He said, may the day of my birth perish, and the night that said a boy is conceived, that day may it turn to darkness.
Ooh.
He basically just starts wishing he had never been born.
Wow.
Okay. I don't blame you.
Yeah, I've been in some dark places.
Yeah.
I've never cursed the day I was born.
Yeah.
But
the
night is young.
That's true. Who knows? You get some boils, you lose all of your people.
If I have boils on the bottoms of my feet, I'm probably going to curse the day I was born.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I'm late for a meal, I might curse the day I was born.
Like basically all of Job 3 is him complaining and just basically, and I think he has every right to complain.
Sure.
He basically says things like, why did I not perish at birth and die as I came from the womb? Why were there knees to receive me and breasts that I might be nursed? For now I would be lying down in peace.
Wow.
I get it.
Right.
Everything that the man loved was taken from him in a day.
Yeah.
And then he fucking got like rabid herpes or something.
God.
So fine. And then his buddies start in. Eliphaz the termite, starts saying, Think how you have instructed. I mean, so he starts out nice. He's like, think how you have instructed many, how you have strengthened feeble hands. Your words have supported those who stumbled. You have strengthened faltering knees, but now trouble comes to you and you are discouraged. It strikes you and you are dismayed. Now fucking dude, none of the people that he was comforting went through this.
Right.
Because nobody's ever gone through this. Like, this is like... Anyway.
Imagine the friend you have that's been through the worst tragedy they've ever of their lives. You show up and you're like, quit your bitching.
Right.
What is your deal, dude?
Right.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Dude, it's all going to be fine. And that's basically, from now on, it's just Job saying, and I'll say some exact quotes, I despise my own life. Or later, I loathe my very life. And then... his buddies saying things like, blessed is the one whom God corrects. So do not despise the discipline of the Almighty. Don't hate these things.
This is when people who have children who have, diseases or ailments, and good Christians will come up to them and say, you know what? You're so blessed. You're so blessed. Here it is.
The Lord never gives you anything that you can't handle.
Fuck off.
Fuck off.
Good God.
The Lord gave me Satan to ruin my life specifically.
Right.
With the express intent. This just keeps happening. Chapter after chapter after chapter. It is interminable. It happens chapter 19, chapter 25, chapter blah, blah, blah. It's just him. One chapter of him bemoaning and another chapter of his buddies just telling him he's wrong.
Okay, what an exploration of suffering and misery. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what a psychological disaster this poor man is just, this is really awful stuff.
Yeah. Job 19, Job says, how long will you torment me and crush me with your words? But they keep going. They just keep going. He says, I cry out to you, God, but you do not answer me. Like, he's just, like, I can't believe it. Finally, another guy, Elihu, comes and chastises these other guys and says, I've been listening to you all, and you're just dicks.
Could you have spoken up sooner, dude?
Right. Except that then he goes on. Oh, no. He's like, you guys are dicks. I hate what you're saying to him. You should shut up. Now, Job, hear me out for a minute. And he doesn't just say, hear me out. He keeps fucking repeating it. He says, and this is really funny to me. Therefore, I say, listen to me. I, too, will tell you what I know. And he just I'm not even going to say it. He just keeps repeating, listen to my words. Pay attention to everything I say. It's just on and on and on. Like, he spends paragraphs asking everyone to listen to him. And then he just says basically the same bullshit.
Fuck.
And I literally okay, well, here's a really interesting one. I found this one. This is Elihu, who says, why do you complain to him that he responds to no one's words? For God does speak now one way, now another, though no one perceives it. Well, that's helpful.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, God.
Right. I think that line is proving the point of this podcast.
Right? Yeah. Really great there. Don't worry. Eventually, finally, chapter 38.
Oh, my God.
It's been 38 chapters where finally the Lord speaks.
Oh, really? So he went silent in 3 and has just been overseeing this suffering.
Just watching.
Wow.
And now finally the Lord speaks. And what does the Lord do? The Lord spake to Job out of the storm. He said, who is it that obscures my plans with words without knowledge? Brace yourself like a man. I will question you, and you shall answer me. And then he proceeds to brag for 2 fucking chapters.
At Job?
At Job. Oh, no. Basically saying, he basically says, hey, Job, I know that you've been been wondering where I'm at, well, let me ask you something. And by something, I mean a million questions that all sound like this. Let me find some good stuff. Does the rain have a father? Who fathers the dewdrops? From whose womb comes the ice? Who gives birth to the frost from the heavens when the waters become hard as stone? When is the surface of the deep when the surface of the deep is frozen? Can you bind the chains of the Pleiades? Can you loosen Orion's belt? He's fucking just bragging.
This is a Trump rally in 17th century English.
You have no idea how much he sounds like Donald Trump in this.
Jesus Christ.
He just bragging and bragging. Like, look, do you hunt the prey of the lion for the lioness and satisfy the hunger of the lions when they crouch in their dens or lie in wait in a thicket? Who provides food for the raven when the young cry out to God and wonder about the lack of food?
What?
Apparently baby ravens cry out to God?
And he's taking responsibility. He's bragging about the sun rising and the tides coming in and out.
Right.
Like he's doing, hey man, this is all me. All of this is me.
He basically, yeah, he's like, how dare you question me? Look at all the cool shit I did. To which Job finally in verse 40 or in chapter 40 is like, I'm unworthy. How can I reply to you? I put my hand over my mouth. Which that sounds about right. I mean, he should have shut up a long time ago, frankly. Just asked everyone to leave him the fuck alone. And then, yeah, the Lord just keeps going. Just keeps going. Would you discredit my justice? Would you condemn me to justify yourself? Do you have an arm like God's, and can your voice thunder like his? Then adorn yourself with glory and splendor, and clothe yourself in honor and majesty. Unleash the fury of your wrath. Look at all who are proud and bring them low.
When a wrestler comes out, and there's a hype man. What's that song that always plays when the wrestler's about to come out? It's like that 90s kind of pump power music.
Right, yeah.
That should be playing while you read all of this.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
That's exactly what it sounds like. It's the most, like, if it weren't God, it would just be hyperbole, but it is God, so, like, I guess it's not, but it's still, like, will you get to the point, O Lord?
And meanwhile, Job is sitting blisters in ash.
Still there.
Among the ruins of his life.
Still scraping with his pot piece.
Listening to God brag about how awesome he is.
Right.
Oh, man.
Finally, in the epilogue of this whole business, we are finally to the end of Job. After the Lord had said these things to Job, he said to Eliphaz the Terminator, I am angry with you and your friends because you have not blah blah blah. Fuck it, I'm not going to read this. He chastises the friends for basically blathering on at him and makes them sacrifice some stuff, and then says, "I'll forgive you, and I'll forgive all of you if Job prays on your behalf," and Job does.
Wait. God will forgive these guys for rubbing Job's misery in his face if Job prays for them?
And he does.
Oh, my God. Jesus.
And then...
It's sadistic.
And then the Lord restores his fortunes and gives him twice as much as he had before. Great.
Yeah.
And his brothers and sisters and everyone who had known him before came and ate with him in his house. How fantastic.
Did he give him kids back?
The Lord blessed the latter part of Job's life more than the former part. He had 14,000 sheep, 6,000 camels, 1,000 yoke of oxen, and 1,000 donkeys. And he also had 7 sons and 3 daughters.
And he was also probably so psychologically tortured by this. You know what I mean?
Right.
He probably curled up in the shower every night and cried himself to sleep.
Thanks so much, God, for all of this. Boy, super duper worth it.
What?
And by the way, Job, after this, lived 140 years.
Yeah, of course he did.
Blah, blah, blah. And he saw his children and their children to the 4th generation. Oh, boy. Yeah, go.
Well,
What do you got?
Okay,
I got nothing.
There's so much. Okay, God and Satan kind of being in this very weird manipulative relationship with each other, where clearly Satan gets the goods on God more than once.
Yeah.
And then what are we supposed to take from all of this?
That God's a child and that everybody is mean to everybody, and that
It's so nihilistic.
here's what's interesting about this book to me is that you hear Christians
Yeah.
all the time saying, here's what they say, here's what Christians say all the time. If you're in pain, if you're suffering, it's probably because of your sinful nature.
Right.
There's sin in your life that you haven't repented for, or there's something sinful in you, and that's why you're made to suffer.
Yeah.
How can they say that with this book existing in
Right.
their book?
In their book.
Because this book definitely puts the lie to that.
Blows a hole in any morality. Yeah, absolutely.
You can't possibly make that claim, and also this book exists.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes.
So
How many Christians have read the book of Job, quite honestly? Because it is...
they know the story. I knew the story.
Yeah,
and
but the story is so... It's like, okay, God tested him, and he passed the test, and he got more wealth. We don't go into this psychological, years-long torture of this man.
it's insanity. It's insanity. It's...
Wow.
I can't. Yeah, I don't understand any of it. There's no good moral to come from it, other than God's a dick, but he's all powerful, and you better fucking do what he wants, because
Yeah.
if he can do that to his good friends, imagine what he can do to you for eternity if you're not on his good side.
I guess that's closer to the truth than most of the other stories in the Bible.
Yeah, I guess so. So enjoy that, and let's move on.
Moving on.
Oh, Uncle Doug,
Uncle Dan.
do you know what makes this whole thing go?
Grit and gumption?
Pretty sure that's not it, because I have none of that. It's what turns the world around.
Yeah, that's right. It's the people who love us.
It's the people who love us. And one of the ways that you can show that you love us, and that some people do, is by becoming patrons.
It's the only way you can show you can love us.
It's the only way we really believe you. Is if you become a patron. And the way that you do that is you go to howtoheretic.com, you click on the Patreon button, it takes you to the Patreon page, and you sign up and you decide how much of your hard-earned cash, it wasn't that hard to earn, come on, you want to kick down our way. And we've had some people who have done that we need to thank.
Awesome.
So we'll start this week with Amber. Thank you so much. Taru, I don't know if that's pronounced right or not, but thank you so much. David, who this is your first one. I'm going to make you come up with a saint for David.
All right.
So David, you have come in at the level where you get your own personal saint, and Doug, who has never improvised a saint before in his life, is about to throw one down. Go, Uncle Doug.
David, your saint is Saint Klinger of Toledo, Ohio. Saint Klinger is the patron saint of insincere transvestites, misdiagnosed psychoses, bathtub gin, off-brand colas, and sitcoms that get a little bit too preachy near the end and definitely overstay their welcome.
Okay. Wow. That was a good one.
Thanks a lot.
Saint who?
Saint Klinger.
Klinger.
Klinger of Toledo, Ohio.
He's not the patron saint of trying to get a Section 8?
That's why he's an insincere transvestite.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Insincerity is the worst quality a transvestite can have. It's not nice.
And runs in the stockings, but
Yeah, right, exactly. And then now I have a duty as well.
Yes.
And that's a trickier one because we've got a donor who gets a heaven.
Ooh.
When you donate at a certain level, you get your own personal, customized by your uncles heaven. So, Dick Butticus. Yes, sir.
That's great.
You get a heaven. Here we go. Let me find it here. All right, Dick Butticus, brace yourselves, because you're going to heaven, and if you thought that was a concept you could wrap your head around, it's time to think again. Why? Because you're going to Mormon heaven.
Oh.
No, not the heaven that Mormonism purports to espouse, but the heaven that exists in in multiple states at once within the quantumly perplexed brains of everyday Mormons themselves. What could be so confusing about an average Joe or Molly's version of heaven, you might ask? Everything, Dick Butticus. Every goddamned thing is confusing about that. We've talked a little bit about the theology, such as it is, on the show, and even that doesn't make sense, but the contrary ideas bouncing around unnoticed in the average Mormon's noodle are a step beyond nonsense and craziness, and that craziness will continue for you long into eternity. First, you're going to spirit paradise. Doesn't that sound nice? Well, it's not. It's a goddamned waiting room. Nobody knows what it looks like or what you'll do there, other than the fact that there are at bare minimum 1,000 years that you'll have to spend there before the great judgment. And that's if the resurrection happens the day after you die. If it doesn't, just add any intervening years onto that 1,000. Just be glad you didn't have to spend that time in spirit prison. There's no evidence that it's any different, but it sure sounds a lot shittier, doesn't it? But, oh glory! The millennium is past, and now Jesus's magic sorting hat is whisking people off to their deserved fate. And lucky you, your favorite uncles have secured you a trip to exaltation, the highest order of glory in the highest kingdom of the afterlife. We know a guy. Here's where it gets confusing, so bear with us. Exaltation is a glorious place where you live with all your exalted brother and sister humans, none of that telestial or telestial trash, surrounded by white and gold and sparkly crystals everywhere you look. You'll be able to visit all your loved ones whenever you want. They'll all be there with you. We'll get the bad ones in too, just for you. It's peaceful and serene, and most importantly, God lives there with you. That's right. You live just down the street from Elohim himself. Invite him to your barbecue. He'll come, wife/wives in tow. But also, you'll be a god yourself now. You'll spend eternity creating a universe of your own and peopling it how you will. You'll be omnipotent, omniscient, and living on your very own self-created planet just like Elohim does. And while you're doing that, all of your exalted loved ones will be doing exactly the same thing on their homemade universes. How can these two totally disparate eternities coexist? You'll have to tell us when you're there on the other side, Dick Butticus, because we're totally at a loss. Enjoy!
Congratulations, Dick Butticus.
Ain't that some fun? Good luck to you.
I guess Biggest Dickus was taken.
I guess so. Well, I mean, you got to name yourself after one of the football greats, right?
I had not made that connection until just now.
That may or may not be what he's going for. Anyway, Dick Butticus, thank you so much for your patronage. I hope you enjoy your time in eternity. It will be miserable.
Thanks, Mr. Butticus.
Let's move on.
Moving on.
Uncle Doug.
Uncle Dan.
You're very quick. You're very quick. You're eager. These are distressing times in our country. For those of us who are concerned about fairness and, the Constitution of this country and, people having rights and whatever, it's become a bit shaky. It feels a little shaky.
Fraught is the word I would use.
Yeah. And one of the things that's happened recently is that people in high places in the public sphere, in our government, are turning to religion for their guideposts in a way expressly forbidden by the Constitution of these United States.
Yep.
And you're going to tell us a little bit about one of those instances and what it might mean.
Indeed. And, Uncle Dan, we try to not make this a political podcast.
It's not.
And it just in this day and age, that's getting harder and harder.
Well, religion is politics right now.
Most definitely. And I would say in this particular case especially, it's not that we're going into politics necessarily, but more that politics kind of veered into our lane.
Yeah.
And I think what we've tried to do with this podcast is if there's anyone listening to this podcast on a wax cylinder in a few years, gathered around the fire in the afterscape, Maybe they can take some comfort that it wasn't all doom and gloom. But today we're only a couple days away from the 4th of July. So
it's Canada Day. I need out today as we record this.
No kidding.
Yeah.
How did I not know that? My brother's in Canada.
Yeah.
Oh well.
You and I are both half Canadian.
Yeah, exactly. I knew I felt weird today. But
Yeah. The sight of us that can feel proud should be swelling a little bit right now.
Unfortunately, it's my top half.
Right.
So, so there's kind of a confluence of the 4th of July current events and one Jefferson Beauregard Sessions III.
Oh my God. The Keebler elf of politics.
It's funny because you can't sometimes in life, in a movie or a book, we're fine with there being kind of a true villain.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason in life, we always try and ascribe some kind of good character to people. We just can't believe that there might be people who are true villains. Jefferson Beauregard Sessions III is a true villain. And the other day, he cited the Bible. And again, this is the Attorney General of the United States, cited the Bible to justify the child separation policy of the Trump administration on our southern border, wherein families are being separated, even families who are seeking asylum as they have an internationally guaranteed right to do.
Right.
And so Jefferson Sessions, when called on this, said, quote, and I want to do his voice, but I don't respect him enough to imitate him. He said, and this is his words, which are out of the gate are incorrect. I would cite you to the Apostle Paul. Of course, you should have said I would cite the Apostle Paul or direct you to the Apostle Paul, but he's a fucking idiot.
Right.
I would cite you to the Apostle Paul and his clear and wise command in Romans 13 to obey the laws of the government because God has ordained them for the purpose of order. Sessions went on to say, orderly and lawful processes are good in themselves and protect the weak and lawful. So
okay, this is nonsensical on its face,
right?
But it's deeper than that. Anyway,
it's much deeper than that. I mean, before we dive into what it is in Romans 13 he's talking about, let's remind ourselves the First Amendment of the Constitution, which says Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Right. So this is the Attorney General of the United States using the Bible to justify a policy.
Right. He's literally like referring people who are questioning his choice. Now this was in reference to the separating of families down on our southern border. Don't worry though, he doesn't do it to refugee/asylum seeker families that are white.
No, certainly not.
So
never fear.
The people that count are okay. But he's doing this, and his response is not, let me show you where the precedent is in law where this is okay.
Exactly.
His response is, but Jesus done told me I could do it.
Exactly.
And also, okay, the problems with this are so plentiful. I'll let you get us to them. I'm just
let's back up a little bit and actually kind of dive into who is Jefferson Beauregard Sessions III. He was born in Selma, Alabama on Christmas Eve, no less, 1946.
Oh, what a present the Lord gave us on that Christmas.
Indeed. As is evident from his name, he was named after his pappy, who was named after his grandpappy, who was named after Confederate President Jefferson Davis and Confederate General P.G.T. Beauregard, who attacked Fort Sumter in 1861, kicking off the Civil War.
Of course he was.
Of course he was. I mean, it's just... when someone is trying to tell you how much of a racist shit they are, believe them.
Yeah.
Okay. After becoming a lawyer, he became a U.S. assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of Alabama under Reagan, until he was asked to resign by the incoming Clinton administration 12 years later, which is actually pretty standard SOP for a new administration. Oftentimes, will push out all the U.S. attorneys and hire new ones. In 1985, in what would become a pattern, he prosecuted 3 black community organizers, including Martin Luther King Jr.'s former aide, Albert Turner, for voter fraud. The 3 were acquitted after just 3 hours of deliberation by an Alabama jury. So, JBS3 was so chastised he retired quietly from public life.
Oh,
except that he didn't.
Had that took.
Right? It was a really embarrassing trial. 3 hours of deliberation,
Yeah.
and they came back and said, "No, you guys are all good." It's
3 hours is 0.
It's 0. They went and had a snack.
Right.
In '86, Reagan nominated JBS3 to be a judge in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Alabama. But quotes from his past, like this one, quote, "The Ku Klux Klan was okay until I found out they smoked pot."
Wow. That's impressive.
that's-
That is a level
Totally.
of awful that like comedians sit around in a room for hours to craft that level of awful.
It is a boss hog level of it's amazing.
That is cartoon villains aren't allowed to get that awful because you wouldn't believe it.
Right. So anyway, his nomination for that judgeship was derailed for only the second time in American history.
Wow.
Yeah, because almost always presidents get the judges they want. That's part of the conundrum we're in right now.
Right.
But for a district court judge to be derailed because the Senate found him to be too racist is unprecedented.
Yeah. And that was back in the 80s.
Yep,
that wasn't
exactly.
I mean, we were racister even then than now.
Yep. I guess not, though, because undaunted, JBS3 went on to become the Alabama Attorney General from 95 to 97, and then a U.S. Senator for the state of Alabama from 1997 to 2017.
Yeah.
And in 2016, he backed a young, charismatic, upstart candidate for president named Donald Jackboot Trump. And because some white grandma didn't know how to format her emails properly, a man named after the leader of a treasonous rebellion against the United States and the traitor who fired the first shots in that rebellion became Attorney General of the United States of America in 2017.
God bless America.
Now, this brings us to Jefferson Beauregard Sessions III quoting the Bible to justify prying children away from their desperate parents.
Can you read us the quote?
Yes. We're going to get there. In fact, we're going to spend a little time on it.
Okay.
So, just a little bit more background on this epistle and kind of just a little bit of color for it.
You're going to pistol me?
I'm going to piss all over you.
Okay.
Most scholars agree that this epistle or letter was actually written by Paul. Not all the ones that are attributed to him were.
Right.
It's the longest epistle and therefore quantifiably the worst.
Because the more you epistle, the worse it gets. That is physics.
That's true. And it's considered to be one of the more consequential texts in the New Testament because it lays out a lot of the doctrine that most Christians still adhere to today. So it's a big deal. But chapter 13, which we'll talk about in a second, has attained a kind of folk status by bigots, racists, and your various and sundry bad guys because it basically seems to justify every group of cops beating a black teenager while yelling, "Stop resisting."
Right.
It's also problematic for Jefferson Beauregard Sessions the third, because this scripture was used by English loyalists in the run-up to the Revolutionary War.
Sure.
To justify the colony's continued allegiance to the crown. It was used by slave owners in the run-up to the Civil War to justify the continued existence of slavery, which was entirely legal at the time.
Sure.
The Nazis used it. I mean, it goes on and on and on.
Yeah, there's literally no time when someone in government uses this particular scripture when it isn't to justify pure evil.
Most definitely.
The only time this one gets trot out, this one gets trot out,
is when some fascist is standing on some minority's neck.
Right.
Yep.
And saying, "Look the other way. I told you, don't look at this.
Exactly.
Look over there."
Exactly. Okay, so here you're itching for the actual verbiage.
I want to hear it.
Here we go. Here's the thing. There's different translations of the Bible, obviously.
Yeah.
And the language in them differs, and it differs in a very fundamental way. So here is the New English Version.
Sure.
And it says, so here it is, the operating scriptures here, verse 1 and 2 in chapter 13 of Romans. "Let everyone be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except that which God has established. The authorities that exist have been established by God. Consequently, whoever rebels against the authority is rebelling against what God has instituted, and those who do so will bring judgment on themselves." Okay, that seems pretty clear, yes?
That's pretty powerful.
I mean, leaving aside the incredible hypocrisy that a dude named after the two of the most notorious lawbreakers in American history is hiding behind this dreck.
Right. Well, I mean, we're going to get to other reasons why this is not okay.
Yes. Yeah.
But you wanted to do another version of it?
Well, there's a couple of versions I just want to hit on real quick.
Okay.
So this is the Voice. This is a very modern sounding translation of the Bible. It is important that all of us submit to the authorities who have charge over us because God established all authority in heaven and on the earth. Therefore, a person who rebels against the authority rebels against the order he established, and people like that can expect to face certain judgment. Couple more.
Jesus.
The modern English version. So, you could see where he's like, yeah, this is what it says.
Yeah.
Modern English says, let every person be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and those that exist are appointed by God. Therefore, whoever resists authority resists God. Okay.
Where was Romans 13 in their minds when Obama was president?
Exactly.
Like there's so many problems with this. Do they say that the same thing applies if they happen to be in Saudi Arabia?
Exactly. It's so problematic.
It's just there's no logic to this whatsoever.
Okay, so I'm going to do two more, and then all
right.
The Living Bible, another kind of modern translation says,
Oh, the Living Bible's a treat.
it is a treat. Isn't
Have
it?
you ever read anything
read
else?
bits and
Oh
pieces
my
of it.
God.
It says, obey the government, for God is the one who put it there. There is no government anywhere that God has not placed in power. What?
Wow. Well, that's what it's saying.
I know, right? So those who refuse to obey the laws of the land are refusing to obey God, and punishment will follow. Okay, I'm sorry. It says there is no government that God has not placed in power.
There's no such thing as a corrupt government.
So the Nazis, North Korea, Stalin, Pol Pot,
A government that bans Christianity
right, has every right to
Stalin-
do so.
was doing the Lord's work.
Exactly.
According to Paul.
Now, here's where it gets, I think, interesting.
Paul? Is it Paul?
It's Paul.
Yeah.
Listeners will know that I'm kind of partial to the King James version of the Bible.
Really? You never say it.
And the reason is because you and I were raised Mormon. That's the version we read.
Yeah.
That's the version that Joseph Smith copied when he wrote the Book of Mormon.
Right.
So our lives are kind of steeped in the King James version, the thee and thou version of the Bible.
Right.
So here's what, and it's also the most prevalent. Like
That
it is the
16th century bit of brilliance.
right. But it's wildly the most accepted, read, familiar version of the Bible
In English.
in English. Correct.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter if it's not another language; it doesn't count. Where did that little bit of bigotry come from? I'm too close to Sessions.
Yeah.
Here's what the King James version says. Same fucking scripture. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power resisteth the ordinance of God, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. I don't interpret that the same way I interpret the other versions, where it's like obey the government. Mm-hmm. This one says obey the higher powers.
Yeah.
Right? And now, is that the clergy? Is that the state government? Is that God himself? I don't know.
Now, the deference that you show to this, to the King James version, is interesting because if you do any research into the history of the writing of this version, you know that it was like it was a bunch of people who were, because there was turmoil between the Catholics and the and the new Protestants of England.
Yeah.
And they were sort of battling with each other to come up with a version that didn't offend one or the other side of this thing. So half of them were okay with the government at the time, and half of them hated the government at the time. And this is the mishmash that we got from that.
And that's a great point. And I just it for them to use this and be like game over, checkmate,
Right?
And it's not even internally consistent. And here's okay.
No.
So that's the script that Beauregard Sessions is using to justify this policy.
Here's one has to ask Paul. Do you remember what happened to your Lord and Savior?
Exactly.
Because it was the authorities that fucking killed him.
Tried him and killed him, executed him.
And that you're supposed to feel great about that, apparently.
Right. Yeah.
You can't.
Mind-blowing.
Literally, if you think about this for a second,
Right.
for a fraction of a second, you know that it can't possibly be true.
Now here's a little cherry on top of this shit pile. Because in that same chapter, and Romans 13 is not a long chapter. It's on your laptop. It's not even a full screen.
Right.
It's it's a small chapter. In that same chapter, there are these nuggets. Owe no man anything but to love one another, for he that loveth another hath fulfilled the law. How about this one? For this, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness, thou shalt not covet. And if there be any other commandment, it is briefly comprehended in this saying, namely, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. And lastly, love worketh no ill to his neighbor, therefore love is the fulfilling of the law. Same fucking chapter. Right there.
So one scripture he's using to justify breaking the rest of the scripture.
Right. Right. I mean,
just read a little further, Beauregard.
It's just mind-numbingly frustrating.
Read just a little further. I will, as we sort of wind this down, refer our listeners to Uncle Mark's first semi-viral tweet.
Oh yeah,
which if you guys aren't following him on the Twitter, he's very, very funny. Anyway, there's one that shows a very austere and terrifying picture of what someone in the thread calls der Keebler-Führer, Mr. Sessions, and I will. Should I read it? I will read for you.
Yeah, read it.
Mark's tweet, because it's kind of delightful. He says, "Folks, you don't have to be uncivilized, but if this creature shows up in your cafe, tell it you don't have stewed possum and radish weed. If it don't skedaddle, clap 3 times. Tell it the forks have previously been used by a queer gal what can read. It won't haint you no more." Cute.
It's just we're in a moment right now.
That's at How to Heretic, everybody.
At How to Heretic, that's right. Yeah, and definitely follow Uncle Mark on Twitter.
That was retweeted by one Roseanne Arquette.
I saw that. That's awesome.
Was it? Well, one of the Arquettes.
One of the Arquettes.
Patricia Arquette.
Is there a Roseanne Arquette?
I may have made that one up. I'm not sure.
Oh man. So, it's just shit. And why the fuck is our Attorney General using the Bible to justify policy?
Because someone animated a turd and now he's in charge.
Right. Oh, and it's a problematic. If you're using the same justification for what you're doing as the Nazis used, I think you should have a long dark tea time of the soul.
Ask
but that's
some
just
questions.
Me.
Just ask some questions.
Unless, of course, the most obvious thing is you feel the same way they do.
Yeah.
And
golly, wonder if that could possibly be the truth.
When someone's trying to tell you they're a racist, believe them.
Right. When someone keeps saying it.
Yeah.
I mean, the only words that he's ever actually used to say it are things like the KKK was okay until they smoked weed.
You know what? What sucks so much about that is it's kind of a great line.
Oh, Lord. I'm going to go smoke some weed with some Klan members.
Let's move on.
Moving on.
Well, friends, that's it for this week's show.
Hey, we'd love to hear from you. Send us an email. How about it? You could just do that at howto@howtoheretic.com.
Or leave us a voicemail at 903-88-HOW-TO. That is 903-884-6986.
Yeah.
Also Twitter.
Yeah, go to Twitter. That's at howtoheretic.
Correct.
Hey, thanks again to our beautiful patrons. If you like to join their ranks, go ahead and go to howtoheretic.com and click on that Patreon button.
Hey, and thanks to Cody Layton for editing this goddamn mess.
And thank you guys for tuning in. We sure appreciate you.
Bye, friends.